cannons and the British cannon, because the British, when they came with their cannon. So these are the British cannon, because the British, they replaced Portuguese cannon, they put their cannon. Portuguese cannons are longer. As you can see, this is the British cannon. You can see the crown of prince. The Scottish cannon. So Portuguese cannons are longer, but the British cannons are short. So you can see the other watchtower, it's facing the main sea. Maybe you can just go up there. You can go up there. You can see how they used to look the main ocean. This was the Portuguese captain's house, and because San Matias Bastion, he was the captain of this fort. If you look at this part, you can see that room there. It was a Portuguese bedroom. You can see the wardrobe of the captain, and the big room, it was a sitting in the bathroom to the corner there. So, but that time the roof they used to cover on top with palm leaves. Yeah, so we are talking about 4 centuries ago. And also here there is another passage. I hope you can see. These are the real steps. The passage of the steps also, it was going all the way to the sea. It was special for the medicine and food. So the Portuguese, they have to bring medicine and food, but although it was blocked. The red building, it was built by the Arabs, the Oman Arabs. So when they say, when you entering inside the building, you can see the influence of the way, the history of the Arabs, and that's why up to date the Sultanate of Oman, they still maintain some building inside the fort. You can see also they got Omani doors, but you're going to see the road. Yeah. San Matias Bastion is the one that told you he was the Portuguese captain. Yeah, now we have another important place. This, it was the special Portuguese captain's balcony. The Portuguese captain used to come and watch from here to look if there's any ship coming. So this, it was special Portuguese captain's balcony. And as you can see, that's the main sea, the main ocean. And we have to understand Mombasa is the main entrance for the Eastern Central Africa. Although that time during the Portuguese there is no binoculars, so the captain used to look with the eyes, no binoculars. And those are the Omanis, they decided they came from the deep to come to conquer the fort. Although other part, it used to be the jungle during the Arab time, Portuguese time, all it was a jungle. That's the Mombasa mainland. And but the way we know, the British, they started that side, but now many foreign people, they invest that side. And I hope you can see to the corner there, you can see there is the pillar there. To the corner there, that's the pillar, and another one there. Those 2 pillars, it was made by the British like a lighthouse, navigation, to show the ship the way to enter. Because of the natural port, which is called Mombasa Old Port. But now we have the new port. The new port is the other side. So the big ships is going to the new port, is a modern port. But the natural port, which is Mombasa Old Port, still functioning. But before the new port, all the ships used to pass from here. Another thing, when the Portuguese, they were under siege, we know that it was a Portuguese ship came to rescue their people. The name of the Portuguese ship, it was called San Antonio de Tana. It was coming to rescue the Portuguese, but it became too late. All the Portuguese, they starved to death. After the ship reaching near the fort, the Oman Arabs, they sank the ship, still under the sea, the ship. After 300 years, 1977, that's why the divers, they make wreck to see if they can get anything from the ship.
They make what, a wreck?
They make the wreck to see if they, 1977, after 300 years. After they do the wreck, they found some few artifacts from the Portuguese ship. We'll see inside the museum after 300 years. So the ship, it became too late because already Portuguese, they starved to death. Yeah. So I And that's why Oman Arabs, they controlled this fort more than 200 years. More than 200 years. And then the British, they came. And if you remember, the British, they colonized many parts of the world. Yeah, and the British, they were very, very powerful. So we see that the war between British and the Arabs, it was a very quick war. 1895. And then the Arab, they look, the Oman Arab, they can't afford to fight with British, and that's why they settle, and then they have agreement to back Oman. So 1895, the British, they start colonize Kenya, and then the British, they took over the fort. They used as a main prison in Kenya. So the first main prison in Kenya was the Fort Jesus by the British colony. And from 1895 up to 1958. Although we came to realize that it was not only the Africans they were jailed here, because I get a lady from England, and she told me that her grandmother, she was jailed here. So also there are some of the British, they were jailed here. I hope they are the one they were against British colony. So when you're walking, you can see the women prison, and the other part of the where the men prison they were kept. Yeah. So this is another part of the left arm of the Fort Jesus, and you can see along there. You can see the Portuguese cannons come along, and then after there you can see the Portuguese kitchen.
So the British made the agreement with Oman,
Yeah.
and the Arabs from here could settle in Oman.
Yeah, they
right?
back to Oman. They back to Oman. So if you look here, you can see now we leave the head there. That's the head of the fort. So this is the left. The way I told you, you can see also the left arm, the watchtower there. And this, it was the Portuguese kitchen. You can see the chimneys. It was a Portuguese kitchen. And the staple food of the Portuguese, it was a fish. Fish, it was a staple food for the Portuguese. And but the Portuguese, they were the first to come with the corn in Africa. So you can see here, inside here. Although it used to be the gift shop, but during the Portuguese, it was a kitchen. You can see the first chimney, but now it's for the altar, because during the Portuguese there's no tiles anymore. So this was the second kitchen of the Portuguese, and this was the main kitchen. The main kitchen. So the Portuguese, they were using the fire there, but now it's for the art. Now they do oil painting arts. But it used to be the kitchen. So this drawers is not original, but this is original. It was cut from the corner. So this is it was the part of the serving food. These soldiers, there were 250 soldiers inside the fort. This door is more than 300 years. This door is called Omani door. Omani doors, after the Arab they won Portuguese, the Sultan of Zanzibar, that's why he gave the Arab this door as a gift. That it was a clear victory for the Omanis. So this door is original. So it was like a trophy from the Sultan of Zanzibar. And that's why you can see, the way I told you, the culture of Zanzibar in the old town is very, very similar. So when you walk into the old town, you can see kind of these doors, same like Zanzibar. Yeah. That is called Omani doors. And in the old town, they're still making kind of these doors. People from Europe, Nairobi, they come to buy, but it's a very expensive because it's a hand, no machine.
How much, like a door like this? What would you
Okay,
say?
you can get a...
In euro or dollars?
Okay, like a... $1,500. You can find kind of these doors, and depend of the size. Because also you can find another one like a $3,000. Depend of the size of the door, but it's a lot of work.
Be careful, it's slippery.
Portuguese wall painting. The Portuguese, when they were under siege, they used to paint their paintings, like their passing time, and those paintings, it was found from the wall here. And then after, it was preserved inside here. These are the Portuguese paintings. Although it was very, very fed, but it was found, so the British, they returned it again. And I can see, because Portuguese, they were the really Catholics, that can see they used to paint the churches, the cross, and this is the sign of the Portuguese flag, and the kind of the Portuguese sheet, and the way I told you, fish, it was a staple food for the Portuguese. So this, they used to paint as the passing time. It was very fed, and then the British, they did it again. But before the British to preserve this painting inside here, this was a women prison by the British colony. It was a women prison. Yeah. After here, we are going to see the Mansory Hall. And,
I mean, you said or you emphasized that the Portuguese, they ate the fish, but let's say 400 years ago, I assume that it was also very common to eat fish here in Africa, or they just ate the rice and the meat, or was it very common to fish here, or was it also a part of the history that kind of the Europeans or the Portuguese brought kind of the idea of fishing to Africa, or how was that? Do you know about it? Because
okay, Africans, they used to fish too, the original people, but also Portuguese, their common staple food, which was fish. They really like fish very much, so it was their staple food. Although fish, it was a nature, because also the local people in the coast region, they used to fish from long time ago, so it was their food too. Yeah, they used to know about the fishing, and also they used to hunt, because they also African, we used to hunt, but the fish also, it was common for the Africans. So this, the way I told you, this it was not built by the Portuguese. This it was for the Arab. And in the old town we have the family which is called the Mansory family. The Mansory family, they related by the Omanis, but their family is not too big. But 17th century also they ruled this place. So they built this building as for down here. It was for their meeting hall, and all Arab building, you can see the beams, the red Quran. Yeah, and that's why they still maintain this property, because they maintain their history. And here you can see the British and the Arabs on the meeting, and so that's why they were doing the agreement. And here you can see kind of the Omani gun. So this is the really Omani gun, because mostly the Arabs, they were using the spring guns, swords, daggers, and up to date their tradition. You can see there's some spear swords here. This is the Omani swords, huh? The Omani swords, and also their shield, the Omani shield. Their shield to the traditional, it's got handle, and this is the Omani daggers. The Omani daggers up to date in Oman, they put here with the belt to the traditional. When we are going to the Omani house, instead of four Jews, you can see their traditional, how they dress up to date. Yeah. And then after here, we are going to see the museum. So the museum, it was built by the British 1960, because after the British, they used the Fort Jesus as a main prison in Kenya from 1895 to 1958. So 1958, the British, that's why they declared the fort as a historical site. So this building, it was built by the British in 1960 as a museum. Inside here, we're going to see the artifacts This artifact, it's preserved it here. It's very, very important to our history. Like you see there, you can see that's how the Portuguese ship it was. San Antonio Vitana, which was sunk by the Omanis. That is called Mombasa Wreck Excavation, which was done 1977 after 300. And you can see the design of the divers, how they used to treat the ship to see if they can get anything from the ship. And you can see also here on the wall, you can see how the divers they used to treat the ship. But in good luck, they found, because it was so long, they found some artifacts, like all these plates, those pots, those cannons. It was found from the ship, Portuguese ship. So it was very, very important.
A statue of a woman here, yeah?
Yeah. Everything you see inside here, it was found from the ship. That's it. Preserved. Generation to generation, they have come to see the artifacts. And the other side, you can see like that's a Portuguese chair that was made from India. And this is called Persian chest or Arab chest. The Arabs, they use like a treasure. Put important things like gold, silver. Most kind of this chest in the old town, you can find kind of this chest, because also they're still maintaining the Arab traditional. And most of people, they come to find kind of this chest because they're still maintaining the culture in the old town. So this is the culture of the money as a treasure. Another thing, in our coastline, we have a lot of historical sites. Kenya is a very rich history, and we have a lot of many historical sites, coast of Kenya. From the south, now we are here for Jesus Mombasa. Fort Jesus Mombasa. And down there is the part of the south of Mombasa, Diani, Akunda, all the way to Wasini Island. If you visit also Wasini Island, you can see they've got very big slave ships. And this is the part of the north, from Mombasa, Kilifi, Malindi, up to Lamu. Lamu is the border of Kenya and Somalia. So Kenya is really very rich history. Yeah. Another thing, inside the museum, you can see the collections, because also Chinese, about 1,000 years ago, the Chinese also, they were traders. They're coming for trade. And that's why I get many Chinese tourists, they like to visit this museum. Because if you look from 9th to 10th century, 13th to 14th century, all the way, you can see is the mix of the local and the Chinese, because Chinese also, they were coming for trade. They were traders. All the way 16, all the way to 18th century. And that other part is there for the Baluchi Museum there. And I need to give you time. Maybe you can visit there, take some pictures, and then we'll meet on the side. Another thing, we came to realize that the Oman Arabs, when they came to fight Portuguese, they didn't come alone. They invite the people they call the Baluchistan. And that's why many people in Kenya, they don't know there's some people they call the Baluchi. But the Baluchi community, they're still here in Mombasa, old town. Because other side, in that gallery, that museum, you can see like the person standing there. That's the Baluchi soldier. So the Baluchis also, they were invited by the Omanis to come to help them to fight Portuguese, but they didn't come many. They came very few. So after the Arab, they won Portuguese. So the Baluchis also.
Is it an African tribe, Baluchi?
From Pakistan.
From Pakistan.
But that time, they were under they were under. Now it's the part of this Pakistan, but in that time they were under Sultanate of Oman. Can you see? So that's why they have their history, and they make their gallery people to know where they came from. That's called Baluchi Gallery. So, beautiful cultures. All this, it was the part of the India, and then after the Pakistan, it became independent. Balochistan, it was like a province, and then it was divided. The small part Afghanistan, the other part Iran, and the big part Pakistan. So Godar is down here. That's why the Balochistan. But if you look, it was under Muscat, Oman, but now it's the part of the Pakistan. So that's why the Omani, they invite them to come to help them to fight Portuguese. But now the community now is growing. They have their part in the old town, and they have their own mosque. But also, they were mixed. But now they married their community inside their community. But their community is not too big, but now their community now is growing.
So how is actually like here the clash of the religions here in Mombasa and in Kenya? They deal very well, they respect each other, or what is...
Very much. They're very, very important because the religion in Kenya, everyone, they respect each other. Muslim, they respect Christian, they respect Muslim. And as you can see also when the Christian, they celebrate, the Muslim, they celebrate. When the Muslim, they celebrate, Christian, they celebrate. Like we say, during the Eid, the government, they make a holiday. When Christmas is coming, it's holiday, so everyone, they respect each other and they're very friendly. Yeah, that's very important in our country. So all these are Balochi history. Also they do their handmade things. So they're maintaining their culture. But they are Muslim. They are Muslim. So this is the Baluchi. During the wedding time, you can see how this is how the Baluchi women they dress.
Looks like Indian.
Yeah, they are Indians. In Pakistan, this is how they look.
So the Baluchis, they were like Pakistani Indians, right?
Iran, Pakistan.
So that's why you guys have the elephants also here in Mombasa. There's like one square where you have like elephants. I don't know if you know. When you come from the airport to the 5th Avenue, you will see like some elephants in one square, 2 or 3 elephants. Do you know that?
The symbol?
No. This is not this. Some elephants you will see. It's similar to the bones, but it's not the bones. It's just elephants. And I was thinking that maybe an Indian or a Pakistani person brought the elephants here.
No, before elephant it was here.
But also the symbols on the streets, on the square. I don't know if you know.
The symbol.
Yeah, but not this symbol. But you can explain about the symbol.
Oh, the symbol is it was made 1952 to commemorate Queen Elizabeth first when she came to Kenya. So that it was made because of Queen Elizabeth, and that's the symbol of Mombasa. Because if you enter to Mombasa, first thing people they like to visit the symbol of Mombasa, elephant tusk. Without to visit there, you didn't arrive Mombasa. So that's very, very common when you came to Mombasa. Most people they like to take pictures there to see that they came to Mombasa, but it was made because of Queen Elizabeth. First, when she visited 1952, she was very young girl. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But and also if you look at the symbol, you'll see it's like this, and it's M. Mombasa.
Okay.
Yeah, it's M. If you look the same, this and this, Mombasa. So if you look here,